I just got done recording from my other channel a video called My 20 Sexiest Girls in Games. This is my opinion. I think it's a really cool video, so if you guys want to check it out, it'll be on the gaming channel in an hour. Whew, I don't know why I needed to take a breath so bad, but I did. Anyway, today we're going to talk about why I don't smoke weed, and I'm going to give you guys a bunch of stories from my past about my weed smoking. Because I've smoked a lot of weed in my life, but I don't do it anymore. I honestly haven't been a habitual weed smoker for probably like 10 years now, even though I have smoked in the last year just once or twice. And honestly, I have nothing against weed. I think if anything should be illegal, it should be alcohol, not weed. And I don't really have a strong stance on whether or not either of those should be legal or illegal. And I don't have anything against people who smoke weed recreationally or medicinally. I think there are a lot of good things to smoking weed, and I don't think it's some dangerous, harmful, like terrible thing. Literally everything we do in life has side effects and things that you don't want to happen to you, even aspirin. Aspirin is actually one of the more harmful and scarier drugs when paired with things like alcohol and weed and things that just aren't that harmful. But for me personally, I just don't like smoking weed. There's things about it that I don't like, and I'm gonna tell you a few stories as to why I don't like it. I feel like for me, it definitely depends on my mood. If I'm in like an amazing mood, I can have a great time smoking weed. I can have tons of laughs. I can think about tons of new ideas. I get the munchies and I enjoy it, and it's just a fun time with friends and stuff. In fact, one of my most popular videos on this channel, entitled like the best sex ever or something like that, is about me talking about having sex with Jay when we were high. I really enjoy high and drunk sex, just not too high or too drunk. It definitely enhances it. But if I'm at all feeling like I'm in a bad mood or I'm pushed into a corner, I have like a really bad reaction to weed, and it's anywhere from like just paranoia to like absolutely loathing my life until I'm not high anymore. So the reason I'm bringing up this topic is because a lot of people ask me in the comments, like literally every video, are you high? Do you smoke weed? Especially with the incursion of the Toby video that I had to make a couple weeks ago, where I talk about the illicit drug use with him. A lot of people started labeling me a druggie and stuff, and that's like not at all the case. But first, let's talk about my first time smoking pot. Okay, so I was like 12 or 13 years old, and I was with the guy Casey, who I lost my virginity with. And we found this little baggie on the floor, and we asked around, and our friend said, oh, that's pot. And we're like, that's interesting, let's try to smoke it. So our friend, who was a few years older than us, showed us how to make that little like pop can bong where you like bend it down and then like poke the carb in and poke the holes and stick it on top and suck through the place where you would drink through, right? And we tried it and literally nothing happened. I think the like water got to it because, you know, we live in Seattle and it's really rainy. And there wasn't very much left in the first place. But after that, we were kind of curious to try it again. And that's when I started to become a habitual pot smoker. I smoked pot literally almost every day. From the time I was 13 to the time I was like 15 or 16. And half the time it was really fun and I would laugh and I would have a great time. But then the other half of the time, I would just feel really gross about it. So there was this one time I was sitting on the couch with my friends and I wasn't in a good mental state because I was having fights with my boyfriend, but I was there with my other guy friends. And I was just sitting there thinking like, oh, these people are fucking pathetic. Why am I here? I'm doing something so pathetic. And then I look in the mirror and it's like a fucked up mosaic of my face, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so fucking ugly, and like every little imperfection I could see, and it was just like a huge downer. So I left my friend's house and walked home. And while I was walking home, I started to feel like a lot better because I feel like my mood kind of changed, and like the scenery was so fucking beautiful, and the clouds and the sky and the smell of the rain, everything was so much more lucid than normal. And that's something I do love about smoking pot. I feel like I can focus more on one certain thing and I see the details and things that I wouldn't actually stop to smell the roses for. I also feel like when I'm smoking pot, if I'm in a bad mood, a lot of the insecurities that I don't actually have just like come out and like bite me in the ass. And all of a sudden, the confident and strong person that I've always been, who's always sure of herself, turns into this like muddling pile of goo. And I can totally understand what a lot of people feel about their body dysmorphia issues and just feeling unattractive and unhappy with their lives. And then as soon as I snap out of it or I get in a better mood, it's like completely gone. It's really weird. And if I'm in the bad mood, I end up dwelling on things that like aren't really that big of a deal, like homework or fights with my parents, and things just freak me out, and I often get very paranoid. Like I think I'm gonna die. Like logically, I know that no one ever just dies from weed alone, but I'm sitting there hyperventilating with my heart pumping out of my chest thinking I'm gonna die because I'm just hearing the beats of my heart better than I usually would. Or at least that's what it feels like. Another time I was smoking pot with Jay, and it was one of the first times that we started hanging out, and we were with his friend that I've never really liked, so that's probably where the bad mood came from. And like they were laughing about something really fucking stupid, and I had this like moment of clarity, and it is the only time since I've met Jay up until now, which is like fucking 11 years now, that I ever found him unattractive. But they were like laughing at something so fucking stupid, and I'm like, these people are fucking stupid. And then he was eating pizza and he like laughed and like spit pizza on me, and I was like, what the fuck. And it was like the worst moment of being high ever in my entire life. And I think from then on, I never even gave his like friend a chance. And I stopped smoking pot from there on for a while. Because the bad times are pretty bad. And I'm not saying like I'm having a bad trip that I can't snap out of kind of hallucinogenic shit, right? It's not like that. I'm just saying I get in a bad mood and I become kind of bitchy and I just don't like my surroundings. When generally I would love my surroundings and have a great time, and any like small nuances that I didn't like, I would just be like, who cares? So I guess kind of like overanalyzing. But then there's the time I had sex that I was talking about in my video, The Best Sex Ever. And I'll actually post a few videos in the comments where I'm high, because there have been a few in the last couple years since I made this channel. But that best sex that I had when I was high was so fucking good because I feel everything more intensely and I can pinpoint different places where pain and pleasure are being felt, and it just, oh, it's so fucking good. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with weed. In the videos that I'll post in the description, a lot of people were saying that I was faking it, that I wasn't that high, that that's not my reaction, but sometimes I just can't fucking stop laughing, and that's just how I am, and I'm not faking anything. I literally can't fake anything if I tried. I'm a terrible fucking actress. Never wanted to be an actress, because I just feel like it's so embarrassing and so phony to act a certain way when you don't feel that way. You know, like I'm very transparent and blunt about my feelings, and it's very hard for me to be anything but that. So the last time I smoked pot was about a year ago, maybe a little less, and it was because my friend Jesus, who's like a huge stoner, and he's the only reason that I've gotten high at all in the last like 3 years. But in between rounds at a Magic tournament, he wanted to go outside and smoke weed, and Jay wanted to go with him because Jay likes weed. So we went out and I was like, fine, I'll do it too. I take one hit in the car and it was just like, poof, and I was high as fuck. And I was like, holy shit, I have to go play fucking Magic. And it was like giving me the most anxiety ever. And like people are constantly staring at me when I'm out in public. Like everyone is looking at me or glancing at me or like judging me. And when I am high and I'm in a public place, I can feel that like fucking sun rays beaming down on me. And it actually bothers me instead of just being like, huh, that's funny, I'm aware of it, but I don't give a shit. So I'm like, they know I'm high, oh my god. What am I gonna do? And I just imagine myself like falling over myself and dying. And the worst thing fucking happens, I actually get into it with one of the guys I'm playing Magic with. And this is one of the only times that I've ever been treated poorly in the Magic community. Some guy was like being really misogynistic to me. I don't exactly remember what happened, but he was implying that I couldn't count my life totals or I couldn't remember my life totals because I was dumb or a girl or something like that. And it was really like, what the fuck, dude? So I argued him like crazy about whatever fucking ruling was supposed to be whatever, and I don't even remember if I was right, but I was intensely arguing this guy. And then we call over a judge and I end up getting the ruling in my favor because this guy is just so like taken aback by the fact that I'm sticking up for myself so much, and I'm like, no, this is how it was, you are fucking wrong. And I don't know if I was cussing, I don't remember what was happening, but I remember being like, here I am, Superwoman Tara, out to fix all injustices in the Magic community. But after that, I was like, fuck this, I don't enjoy feeling this way, so I'm just like not gonna do it. Another one of the reasons why I don't smoke pot is because I really enjoy my lung capacity and I have a hard time doing cardio as it is. And I feel like anything that burns your throat the way that weed or cigarettes does just can't be good for that and makes me feel tired more often. I also don't think munchies are very good for my figure. And I just overall want to feel like I'm a person who doesn't have a crutch on any kind of drugs or alcohol. And I honestly don't need drugs or alcohol to loosen up at a party. I'm pretty much just the most open person ever. I don't need it to like get rid of my inhibitions or to relax. And for me, it just makes sense to be completely clean. That's not to say that if you choose to be a pot smoker, even if it's all the time, that that's the wrong choice or that there's anything wrong with you or I look down on you in any way. It's your own fucking choice, and that's basically my point. In the midst of everyone saying that weed is so amazing, especially because it's so legal here now, I just don't do it. So yeah, if you guys are wondering why my eyes are so red, it's because I work a fuck ton. Literally everything I do throughout the day is either staring at computer screens or staring at bright lights. Let me show you what my light looks like. You can see it's like a big ring light. You can see it in the glasses. So yeah, I have that light, and then when I'm streaming, I have the light behind my monitor that lights up my face for my webcam. Even when I'm doing makeup, I have a vanity light that's shining in my face. I don't wear circle lenses anymore because I want to limit the amount of pain I give to my eyes. And I wear gunner glasses as much as possible when I'm looking at computer screens, and it actually does help. And I also have to remember to blink a lot because apparently when you stare at computer screens, you blink a lot less. And that can contribute to eye strain and dry eyes. I have computer relief eye drops that Rubber Tongue buys me. And I'm basically just trying to make my eyes go back to normal. Even when I've taken like a week off, my eyes get a little less red all the time, but then they still are red. And I've actually looked into going to an eye doctor just to make sure everything's okay. Because in the past I have done a lot of tanning and tanning beds and I didn't always use eye protection. And I want to make sure I protect my eyesight because I love my eyes and I love my eyesight and I would rather just have pearly white eyeballs and pretty blue irises. And it doesn't help that my teeth are so white now, so there's like a huge discrepancy in how white my eyes are compared to how my teeth are. So yeah, that's the story behind why my eyes are red in every video. No, I don't smoke pot. No, I'm not high in my videos. I don't think I would do it if anyone offered it to me. I don't think I would do it if everyone in the room was offering it to me. If you guys are familiar with my Toby video, I actually stopped doing weed before I stopped doing the Molly. And the Molly was actually making me throw up profusely and have stomach cramps for like 3 days. So yeah, I just half the time don't like the way I feel on it. But I definitely have a history with it, so I'm not holier than thou, oh my god, drugs are bad. Although I do feel like a life that's not complicated by drugs and alcohol just feels better. Feels healthier. And that in the same facet is why I'm a vegetarian slash vegan as well. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some insight into that. Please let me know your experiences with weed, how you feel about weed, and how you feel about its legality. Have you ever felt the way that I feel when I'm smoking weed? Because I feel like a lot of people just think that that's crazy. I think it's a general consensus that when you're smoking weed, you are a happy, chill, laid back person. But for me, it's not really like that. Alright guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you tomorrow with another video. Probably either the prostate video I talked about 2 videos ago, or my first ever monthly fucking favorites. A new series I'm super excited about. Bye guys! Love you, stoner or not.